What's up guys, and welcome to another Helldivers 2 video. Today we're going to be talking about the recent patch notes, as well as the completed major order that saw us eliminate an entire sector on the Terminid side of the war, the new major order that appeared a couple days ago, and what's next for Helldivers 2. So let's start off with the Terminid control system that we recently activated in the Umlaut sector. I remember in my last video I did say that I thought this would be pretty hard and it would be sort of done at the last minute, but actually progress steeped real high as I released that video, and I'm fairly sure we managed to complete it with 3 days left on the counter, which is pretty good. So on the Terminid side of the war, things are going well. We've done every sort of major order we need to for the Terminids so far. We've, taken over the planets that we need to take over. So things are going swimmingly against the Terminids. And it looks like things are going to continue to be pretty smooth against the Terminids, as our new major order is to liberate the Fori Prime system and the Zagon Prime system. With the TCS securing our citizens' lives, now we can secure their economic future by culling the Terminid population and harvesting the E710 they provide. Now, if you didn't know this, E710 is actually a very clever way of saying it's oil, because if you spell 710 backwards, even though I know their numbers, it actually looks like it spells oil. So that's right, our new major order is to secure the oil.
Goddamn right.
But I find it interesting that we've got two major orders in a row that are to do with the Terminids, and we're going on the offensive against them, where, the automatons, we were on the defensive for the last few major orders. Which got me thinking, does this mean the automatons are going to go on the offensive again whilst we're too distracted with the Terminids? Or could we see a new faction pop up very, very soon? I know the Illuminate have been leaked. We've seen 3D models of them, so could we see them very soon? Here's hoping. Because another front of the war is never a bad thing. Just ask Germany in 1941. I will say also, the Terminid side of the war is obviously going very well, and it's actually looking kind of small now that we've eliminated that Umlaut sector. So I am wondering how long the Terminids are going to last, or perhaps maybe they'll pop up in another sector altogether. We know that they can sort of just pop up out of the ground, out of nowhere almost. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with the war in the coming months. Now, we also got a patch that did some balancing and some fixes, so that's good to see. We've got stuff like Meteor Shower has received quite a few changes by the looks of things. It got a reduced spawn rate, reduced explosion radius, reduced meteor damage slightly, reduced meteor velocity slightly, and the meteor color has been changed slightly to try and make it easier to spot. So hopefully that makes the meteor showers a little easier to deal with, because they were a bit full on sometimes, and they were actually quite hard to see now that I think about it. So I'm glad that this has been done. Meteor showers were not the only planetary hazard to receive some fixing and balancing. Volcanic activity also received some changes with the reduced spawn rate, as well as reduced explosion radius and reduced rock velocity slightly. The patch also came with some fixes. The big ones to note are the reduced incidence of patrols spawning on players. Exosuit no longer destroys itself when firing a missile while turning. Thank God, that was so annoying. And the exosuit retains its melee functionality even when damaged. And we got some crash fixes, as well as some fixes for a few other things. Not a huge patch, not like the other one where it added a whole new gameplay mechanic, obviously with the planetary hazards and such, and the exosuits obviously got added just before that. But this is a decent patch overall. Helldivers 2 devs once again proving that they are some of the best in the industry. They're just so good at communicating with us, being so open about how their process is going. They note when known issues pop up. They always ping in the Discord, hey, we know this issue's there, we're fixing, we're trying our best, just be patient. It's just so good to see that from devs, especially nowadays. Something I also wanted to quickly touch on, speaking of how good the devs are doing, how good the game is doing. Because obviously we talked about the concurrent players peaking at like 450,000, 460,000, something like that. But we're kind of retaining that. In the last 48 hours, we're averaging anywhere from 300 to 200,000 players concurrently on Steam. That doesn't include all the PlayStation players. This is actually really super cool to see. And I'm actually very surprised it's retained its player base so much. And I'm wondering if it's because of the constant updates, the constant communication from the devs. We're getting these quote unquote leaks. We saw flying bugs, the Illuminate 3D models, and the CEO is constantly going, I'm denying everything.
Coincidence? I think not!
But it kind of fits with the story of the game, so we can't tell if they're doing it on purpose or not. So I'm wondering if that social media presence that they heavily have is contributing to the player base sticking around and seeing what comes next, keep playing the game, keep fighting the war. And I'm so glad that it's retained its player base. It hasn't just, 2 weeks dropped off completely, It's proving that it can be a game that can stick around with a huge player base for a long time to come. And I can't wait to see it grow and add more things. We'll see if we can beat that 460,000 peak, but I'm just happy that the game has a very good, strong, concurrent player base. So that's all from me from now. I know I haven't uploaded a video in like a week. I've been very busy. I've been sick over the last 3 days. I'm still a bit sick, so if I sound a bit odd in this video, I apologize. Still got a bit of a blocked nose. Been very busy editing videos for Bombastic over on his channel, so go check those out. We're doing videos on the Battlefront Classic Collection and the old Battlefront games in general. So if that takes your fancy, go and check out his channel. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. Comment down below what you think the Terminid offense is going to end up being, whether we're going to get absolutely squashed by the automatons next, or whether we're just going to keep up this offensive against the Terminids, or perhaps there's a new faction coming. Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe for more Helldivers 2 content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!